Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Personally, I'm a little exhausted. I apologize for not putting out a video yesterday, but my dog is expecting puppies. She's still expecting puppies. I thought they were going to be born last night, but apparently she decided to hold off. So I'm kind of recording this in a moment where I'm pretty sure she's not going to be doing anything, and we'll see how far I get. So thank you guys so much for your patience with me. What we're going to talk about today is kind of DragonAge the Veilguard, but at the same time not. The title of the article that is sparking my thoughts currently is DragonAge the Veilguard could save so many studios. The writer starts out talking about how Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League crashed and burned early last year, about how they should have seen it coming, and at least they tried. It just came out too late for the live service trend and arrived unprepared for the post-launch work required to stick around. And then being the catalyst for the Sweet Baby Inc. Gamergate 2.0 culture war, which it wasn't. The catalyst for that was from Sweet Baby Inc. trying to shut down a curator group on Steam and literally harassing the creator Cabrutus over it. That is what kicked off Gamergate 2, if you want to call it Gamergate 2, but that is what kicked off the current cycle in the culture war, not anything else. They don't like to admit that because then they have to admit, well, maybe Sweet Baby isn't quite so sweet, but whatever. And going through the article, it's just all about how game studios could save themselves by following DragonAge's footsteps and repurposing their game, their live service game, into something else, into a single player game or something, just anything else but a live service game, ignoring a number of things like the fact that I wouldn't exactly say DragonAge is doing well. I believe it's been reported in the background, I don't think they've announced it publicly yet, that they've reached 1 million copies sold 2 weeks afterwards. Meanwhile, the people playing it continue to dwindle. So I wouldn't call it by any stretch of the imagination a huge success. I still think it might at least break even, maybe, but no guarantee on that. It was stuck in design hell for 10 years. And do you know why they pivoted from live service into a single player experience? They didn't do it because they saw the live service trend was dying. They did it because they listened to the players, the people who wanted to play the game. Realistically, in the whole development of the game, that's really the only thing they listened to. Because if they had listened to anything else, we would have gotten an entirely different game. We would have actually gotten Dreadwolf as opposed to Veilguard. But that's part of the problem. Neither games media nor game development wants to listen to the actual customers. They think they know best. They think they have control of the narrative. And at this point in time, no, they really don't. We have figured out where the power lies, and that power is in our wallets, not in whatever narrative that they want to concoct. Part of the point of this article is that, not every game studio should suffer massive layoffs or be closed after each game. And if they put out a good game, generally they shouldn't face either of those things. However, if their game fares poorly or they don't make enough money, something has to be done. Yes, sometimes some of the problem is at the top, but you know what? The game devs still have choices, and they have a tendency not to make their choices. They have a tendency to just go along with what they're told and then expect other people to come in and save them. Unfortunately, that is unrealistic to expect from anybody, and while I understand that it seems terribly unfair, the world isn't fair and you have to adapt accordingly. But reading this, a defining element of 2024 in gaming has been high-profile live service failures. Suicide Squad is an obvious example. Multiverse finally returned to a once-eager fan base that quickly turned on it, and the day before suffered a highly public embarrassment as the rug was pulled from under it. The rug wasn't pulled from under it. The freaking developers lied. It was a scam the whole time. Fantastic is nothing but a scam group, and they continue to be a scam group. They've admitted as much while trying to pretend that they're going to be more transparent going forward. Meanwhile, they keep making Kickstarters in an attempt to make any money, and they're not doing very well because people already realize they're just a bunch of scammers, and they don't want anything to do with it. The day before did not suffer a highly public embarrassment. It got what it deserved. When you try to defraud people by lying about what you are, then you deserve what you get. And apparently, the current bar for success is doing better than Suicide Squad, which honestly is an extremely low bar. I know a number of indie games that have probably done amazingly well compared to Suicide Squad. The person goes on to say, live service games often seemed destined to fail, but the solution might be missing the forest for the trees. The answer is don't be a live service game. The answer isn't necessarily don't be a live service game. The answer is don't be a live service game that is the same as every other live service game currently in existence. The answer is listen to the customers. The answer is give people what they actually want. It's take chances. It's move the gaming sphere ahead. It's do something unique, do something original. And by do something unique and original, I don't mean shoehorn a story into your hero shooter. I mean actually find something new that people haven't seen before. For the love of God, would anybody be interested in an arena type game that was based on medieval weaponry? You know, you go after each other with swords, maybe some bows and arrows, something a little more raw. In your face, plenty of blood. And I just came up with that off the top of my head. I might try that. Now, realistically, I don't know if anybody else would. As I said, I just came up with that off the top of my head. I think if implemented correctly, that could be pretty cool. I don't even know if something like it already exists technically. Now, I know it's not a shooter, but you could do some kind of battle arena with it. Put people on either side of historical battles and then rush in at each other and tight enclosed spaces and sometimes across giant fields or something. I don't know. I'm guessing, I'm thinking randomly. You will have to tell me in the comments what you think of that kind of idea. Does that sound like something you'd play? But the answer isn't just copy the things that are doing well now, especially when you look at how long game development takes. If you're going to try to copy the things that are doing well now, you need to develop really fast to be able to hit the trend. In order to do well in gaming, you have to think beyond the trend. You have to try to become the trend. You have to be the trend. You have to think. You have to be creative. And that is why gaming and games are failing right now, because we've talked about it before, and I've said it before. Those of you who have been here a little while probably know what I'm going to say. You don't just make money by putting something out. It is our choice to spend our money. And in the current economic times, until they really change, people are going to continue to be stingy with their money. And even after, at this point in time, knowing that what we spend our money on, seeing how much of a direct effect our money has on the market in terms of video games, there will always be those people who are willing to buy just any kind of thing you put in front of them. But I do feel like the vast majority have an understanding now that if they make better choices, they get better games. If you are the type of person who really wants to wait for whatever AAA puts out, that's fine. But, we don't have to. There are so many more choices out there. We have so many more options. And I'm really excited about it. I know I keep mentioning it, but I really would like for it to catch on, is the fact that I do video game demo playthroughs every week. And I release the highlights and my thoughts so that people can have an idea of what an indie game out there is without having to do the demo themselves. Eventually, if I have the funds, I would love to actually do it by purchasing games and playing those for a little bit. I think I'd probably have to cut it down to an hour in case it's an awful game that I don't want to keep. That way I can give it back to Steam. But either way, I want there to be options. I want people to find new things and see new things and play new games. I don't want to just sit around and wait for whatever next installment of the game I used to love was, especially since the last game I used to love, they just killed. They took everything I loved about it, sucked it out, and presented me with an empty husk. So I'm not going to be waiting for that. I'm going to be finding new things to love because I have better things to do with my time than sit around here and wait for them to start thinking that I'm a worthy customer again. Especially since all they want to do is sling insults and tell me the only reason I'm doing this kind of stuff is that I'm a grifter or that I'm hateful or whatever in the world they want to say, because I don't have to give them my money. You don't have to give them your money. I know many people are now identifying as non-binary, and I applaud you for it. that is an absolutely positive direction to take. At the same time, I would definitely love to see people making more thoughtful choices in what they choose to buy, looking for things, searching for things. I would like to see channels grow based on the fact that all they do is find games to present to people. That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't have the time in my life to be that channel yet, but maybe someday. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But like I said, this wasn't going to be a very long video. I want to thank everybody so much for being so patient with me as always. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. There's kind of a 50-50 chance on whether or not there will be a stream tonight. I will try to put in the community notes if for some reason I'm not going to make it, like the dog hasn't had her puppies yet. I will also put in the community notes pictures when the puppies are finally born for those of you who might like to see their wiggly little butts. They are going to be so cute. I'm excited. Sorry. But thank you guys so very much. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.